Hello, fourth grade students. It is so fun for me to get to make you a video. I hope that you are all staying healthy and that you are all safe. Today, I am going to go over our reading skill for the week. And this week, your reading skill is, let's see if I can get in there, sequence or sequence of events. I believe this is something that you have gone over in your classroom, but it would have been all the way back maybe to the last week of February. So it may be something that you remember, it may be something that you've kind of forgotten, but I'm going to kind of go over it with you today so that you're able to do the activities for reading this week. So, can anyone tell me what sequence of events is? Anybody? Very good! Just kidding, I can't hear you, but I wish I could. Maybe you remember what sequence is. If you don't worry, that's what I'm here for. The sequence of events in a story is the way that the author sometimes sets up a text, a book, a magazine, anything like that. And it is just the order in which the events in a story happen. And so we sometimes call it like sequential order, and it just means what different events happen in the story and what order they went in. And sometimes we use time order words. The words that I'm going to show you today that we're going to use are first, next, then, and finally. So sometimes if I was saying like, hey, tell me a story, you might use those words like, well, first this happened, and next this took place, and then this happened, finally this is what happened at the end. So we sometimes use those words, sometimes authors use those words, to put the story kind of in order, and we can use them when we're retelling a story. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a story from my life, and then we are going to put that story into sequential order. We're going to put it into sequence. So, once upon a time, Miss Cheddar was getting up for work, and I went into my bathroom, and I was kind of getting ready, and all of a sudden, I looked down, and on the floor is this giant, disgusting cockroach. And I haven't had a cockroach in my house up until this point, and I freaked out, and it's flipped over, and it's dead. And I'm like, whew, oh my gosh, like I hate cockroaches. Like I'm not dealing with this. It's morning, I have to go to work. It's already dead, so I left it there. And I went to work. And I spent the whole day at work with my students. I had a great day. And I came home and I was like, oh yeah, I still have that bug up on my floor. I was like, I need to take care of it. So I went up with a couple of my roommates and we got a piece of paper and we were just gonna like kind of, scoop it onto the paper and throw it in the trash. And when we went to scoop it, all of a sudden it flips over and starts running around. And of course, being the brave person that I am, I immediately start just like, ah! And I'm like freaking out and I run out of the bathroom and my roommate's like, oh my gosh! And we're like all freaking out. And we're like, we need a shoe! And we don't have a shoe. And it was this whole thing. And in the end, the cockroach got away. It went into like this little crack in the wall. And to this day, I never found it. And I live in fear every single day that it will reappear. The end. So now I'm going to show you, that's just a short story. It can be a book, it could be a movie that we're maybe putting into order, but this is an example. And now I want to show you on an organizer, like we normally would use at school, how you would put that story into order. Okay, so this is often what your organizer looks like. It might have more events. This one is just divided into 4. And because it's divided into 4, I'm going to write down those time order words to start. So I'm going to put the word first, the word next, the word then, and the word finally. And those are going to kind of just help me as I'm thinking about my story of first this happened, next this happened, then this happened, finally this is what happened at the end. So when thinking about that first, who can tell me what's the first thing that happened in Miss Cheddar's story? Good job. The first thing that happened would be seeing that cockroach, that bug in the morning. So I'm going to say first, Miss Cheddar saw a cockroach in her bathroom not moving. I think that's important because I thought it was dead, but it was not. Okay, what happened next? First, Miss Cheddar saw a cockroach in her bathroom not moving. For next, I'm going to put next Miss Cheddar went to work and worked all day. So remember, when you're doing sequence, you can't put every little detail. We can't say, you know, different feelings or different things like that. We just have to think, what are the big four, or the four big events that happen in the story? What are the biggest things, the most important things, the things that can't be left out or it won't make any sense? Then what happened? I'm going to say, then at home, or you could say after work, Miss Cheddar went to throw away the bug and it moved. So again, that would be an example where you could put in all that detail of Miss Cheddar was really scared, Miss Cheddar did this, and you could put that in event 3, but I can't put it in event 4 because that would leave off the ending and what happened. So again, those little details we maybe don't need to include. And so then we have to think, finally, how did this story end? And I'm going to say, finally, oops, little T, the cockroach got away and Miss Cheddar lives in fear. Okay, so this is an example of how you might take a story or a book or a movie or anything really, and you could put it into sequence of events. You could put it into order, and you might use those words of first, next, then, and finally to kind of help you think about that order. Here is an example, or another example I should say. So it's just a short paragraph. It says, in summer, a female alligator makes her nest on a raised mound or bank near the water. Then she lays about 30 eggs and covers them with plants and grasses. About 9 weeks later, the eggs hatch. For about 2 years, the baby alligators stay by their mother, often riding on her back or head. So we can take this same paragraph and put it into sequential order. And this one, if you can look closely, even has some words like then this happened, which kind of can help you decipher it. So we're just going to split it into 3 sections. So here's an example of what it would be. Event 1 would be, in the summer, an alligator makes her nest. Event 2 would be that she lays about 30 eggs. And event 3 would be that the eggs hatch in about 9 weeks. So that's another way that you could just take something even as small as a paragraph and break it into different events. All right, 4th grade students, your 4th grade teachers miss you and love you so much. If you have any questions, you can email us about sequence and the activities for reading this week. Love you guys. Stay safe.